Serious. What are some small things you do in everyday life to show your significant other that you love them? My BF is the type of guy who needs his space, and he's often out by himself on fishing trips and stuff like that. It's his way of relaxing. I do miss him when he's not with me, but I always tell him to enjoy himself when he leaves. It's important for me that he doesn't feel trapped and that he can go out and relax by himself as much as he needs after a long day per week of work without worrying about me. So yeah, I give him space and I completely accept the things he likes to do, even if I sometimes don't enjoy it myself. I have only put my foot down that one time he bought maggots for fish bait and said he wanted to keep them in the fridge. That was when I was like, yeah, no, not happening, ever. I guess it was some kind of an argument, but we were both laughing so hard that it was difficult to remain serious. My colleague overheard our phone conversation and was laughing his ass off. I don't get to see my girlfriend because of the quarantine, and she has very homophobic parents. So every morning I text her that I love her and that she deserves the world. So Misa and I worked out each other's love language right at the start of our relationship. My top ways of communicating love are physical touch, words of affirmation, and quality time. All things that he tries to do as much as he can remember. His top ways of communicating love are acts of service, quality time, and words of affirmation. So something I always do for Misa is after we've spent the night at his place, when he's having a shower and we've had breakfast before he doesn't that, or he hasn't done his washing up from his dinner, I'll put away whatever dishes are clean and dry and wash up whatever is dirty. I'll also clean his kitchen counters and make the bed. I know I love starting my day in a clean and tidy flat, so giving that to him is the least I can do. I wake up every morning about an hour and a half before I have to, just so we can have a 30-minute coffee date before he leaves the house for the day. He has a freckle on his cheek below his eye, and when I say hello, goodbye, or good morning, good night, you will kiss the freckle. The most adorable thing about it, though, is when I do, he blushes. At the start of me dating my now wife, I often wrote her postcards and letters and sent him to her address. I love calligraphy and handwritten things. We live together now, but sometimes when I see a beautiful postcard or paper motif, I write her a short message and send it to her by mail anyway. My boyfriend and I have competitions to see who can make the other laugh first. We do this all the time, but if he seems upset or stressed, I'll instigate one to try to take his mind off stuff and help cheer him up. He doesn't always like to talk about how he's feeling, so I found this is a good method to help him feel better. Also, lots of hugs and small touches. BC, his love language is physical contact. You have to have at least one hardcore laughing session every day. It's important. We're together for 23 years, so I know what I'm talking about. It's really noticing the little things. When I see that my boyfriend's soap bar is running out, I'll make sure I put a fresh bar in it for him so he doesn't get into shower and not have any. These tiny gestures show true care. We order pizza often and it comes with a soda. He once asked me my favorite kind of soda, seemingly unrelated, and suddenly there's a ginger ale in the bag every week, even though I know he prefers something else. Let him wash the dishes. If my boyfriend and I are ever having a problem or argument, I typically will make him some food because he's my little eater and loves my cooking. It calms us both down and we talk it out, or just let things go this way. Seriously, avoid them until meal times. We are the type that enjoy personal space. Every morning I get up first, so while showering I draw a heart with her initials in it on the glass shower door with my finger. I write her initials in mirror, so when she steps in the bathroom she immediately sees that I thought of her again. Literally takes 2 seconds each day, and it's not like you have much else to do in the shower. I am a trained masseuse. I don't practice anymore other than on Misa. It makes me feel good to make her feel good. Most of it leads to the most passionate sex I have ever experienced. Lighting a fucking fire on her is my best quality. Not in my significant other, but my mom and I sit down every night and draw and chat about life. She's a precious human being and I love her to bits. My Sarah and I are long distance. Once when we're Skyping, I started talking about a book I had written an essay on. Next thing you know, we have a tradition where I read the book to her as she falls asleep. When I think she's finally asleep, I'll pause, waiting to see whether she's still awake enough to realize I've stopped. If I don't get a response within a good 20 seconds, I tell her I love her and end the call. Usually she falls asleep and I don't realize straight away, which means I have read the final sentence of chapter 2 about 8 times. We have just started chapter 3. I don't mind the slow going or that she can never remember what happened. I care that she falls asleep and sleeps well, especially as I know she sometimes has trouble sleeping through the night. Which, as far as I know, has never happened when I've read to her. Just tell your parents you love them. A small thing can go such a far way because God knows what type of day they're having. They could have had a bad day at work or maybe they just are not 100%. This can make a difference. My mum hospitalized the day before my birthday for schizoaffective disorder. It wasn't much, but I made a point to call her daily since she missed me dearly. Whenever I leave her when she's sleeping, whether it be napping or I leave for the night, I make sure to wrap her in a blanket or clothing of mine after giving her a small hug. She's always told me it comforts her to have me metaphorically there as she has extreme night anxiety. So I like to think whatever object I leave holds my place in bed with her. I've been doing this for months and it seems to help her quite a lot. I write notes that match what he's feeling. He's bored. Let me draw a few squiggles so he can finish the drawing. Sad. Sit and imagine with me a nice warm beach with some kids playing in the background. Because we aren't together 24/7 and I have stuff I need to do sometimes, I figured writing him notes to read and reread as needed was a good way to show that affection even when I'm not around. He also loves his hair getting played with, so I do that a lot. Sometimes I invite him over and cook something I've been craving. It may sound backwards, but I get stuff I've been craving out of it and he gets to eat a home-cooked dinner with me. We even wash the dishes together afterward. Occasionally, I just randomly pop into his place to surprise him when I know he's having a difficult day. It's fun finding new ways to show affection, especially for someone you care very deeply about. I'm going to take this opportunity to showcase my partner. I've come from a very complicated background. Abusive biological family, mentally, emotionally, and physically. I also had come out of an emotionally abusive marriage. I had checked myself into a hospital when my ex explained she wasn't in love with me anymore, and then I found out she had been seeing another man. Our kids were the ones that dropped that bomb on me, and they're still together. Kinda lost my will to live. Anyway, I came from situations where, aside from my children, I never really felt I had love reciprocated with me. When I met my partner, I had been renting a room from my employer for about $25 a night. Once I told her about my living situation, she insisted I stay with her. And it always felt so natural to be around her. I over-explain a lot, a product of my old relationship and always being told I was lying about almost everything. I don't remember what it was she had done specifically. She had refreshed a drink for me, or offered to grab my slippers, something small, but I had just realized she was always offering to do things for me. To make me comfortable, to help me feel cared for. "What's your blood sugar?" she'd ask before I'd eat something. Yeah, that's been a fun one to manage. My diet and health has significantly improved because she thinks to ask me stuff about my health. I sometimes roll my eyes at her, but I always remember that it's cause she gives a shit and wants me to be healthy. What really did it for me is, after a week or two of us living together, I noticed that the towel next to the shower was always dry. She would intentionally leave a dry towel closest to the shower so I had easy access to it. I'm the biggest baby. When she got home from work, I hugged her and cried because of it. She just kind of laughed at me but said she was glad I noticed. Really, it is the smallest shit that makes me overwhelmed with happy feelings. I just take care of myself. No, so not expending energy to look for one. So I drink my tea, play my games, write my code, enjoy my flannel sheets, and take my walks. And I carry on. We slow dance every night before bed. We alternate picking the song and never miss a night. He games a lot, so I try to time dinner so that it's ready at a point where he's able to save and it's not during a main mission or something. Oops, here, you dropped your crown. Hey, you watched all of this video. Thank you so much. Subscribe and watch another content by me.